All right, let's dive into something a little different today. We're going to explore a map of reality where the hard science of physics gets really, really personal with consciousness. It's a model that says the universe isn't some giant machine, it's a song.
And this question right here, this is the whole key. It changes everything. Because it means you're not just a person living in the universe. It means you are the universe experiencing itself. You're a note in this huge cosmic symphony. You know, this isn't some brand new, out there idea. It's actually more like we're just rediscovering ancient wisdom. From the Vedic traditions saying sound is God, to Aboriginal songlines literally singing the landscape into existence. People have known for a long time that reality is based on harmony.
So what does this map of reality actually look like? Well, picture a donut. Seriously, the whole universe is what's called a torus. It's a completely closed loop with 12 dimensions, where the end just flows right back into the beginning, kind of like a song that has a chorus that keeps repeating.
Now, this whole cosmic donut is basically held between two opposite points. You can think of them like the positive and negative ends of a battery. You've got the alpha, that's the source, the big outward push that creates everything, and then you have the omega, the sink, the great inward pull that brings it all back home. But here's the twist, they're actually the exact same place.
So let's follow the first part of the journey. We're going to start with the out-breath. That's the process of going from pure, simple oneness into the messy, complicated physical world that you and I live in.
Okay, so the universe is basically building its own computer. First, you need the hardware. This model calls that the trinity of the flesh. It all kicks off with a pulse, a simple cosmic heartbeat. That vibration organizes itself into light, which is the raw data of reality. And then finally, that light gets slowed down, it gets trapped, and it hardens into mass. You know, the physical stuff, the meat.
So you've got your hardware, now it's time to install the software. That's the trinity of the machine. First up is time, which gives our physical world a storyline to follow. Then it gets wild. We get the multiverse. This is where every single possible choice you could ever make branches off into its own reality. And all of that builds to the omniverse, which is just the absolute peak of information overload.
All right, so we've expanded out as far as we can possibly go. We've built this massive, complex system, and now we get to the most crucial part of the whole map, the turning point.
Right in the very middle of this journey, between the 6th and 7th dimension, everything just stops. It's a moment of total stillness called the Sabbath mirror. It's not a place, it's a pause. The outward push of creation grinds to a halt. The whole polarity of the universe flips, and the journey back home begins.
And if you want to know what this cosmic pause feels like, well, you already do. It's that tiny, silent gap you can sometimes find in your own mind, that little space between your thoughts. That right there, that's your personal connection to the Sabbath mirror. It's a moment to just be.
Okay, so after that big pause, the entire journey reverses course. Now we start the in-breath, the great ascent. And the goal is no longer about building more complexity, it's about refining all of that complexity down into pure, simple meaning.
This starts with the trinity of the soul. It's like we take all that raw, chaotic information from the first half and start to distill it. That overwhelming omniverse gets refined down to a single divine intent, the why behind it all. The infinite choices of the multiverse collapse into one archetypical purpose, the one true path. And linear time gets folded up into eternity, where your whole life is seen all at once.
The final 3 steps are called the Trinity of the Spirit. This is where everything becomes perfected. Physical matter becomes divine substance, matter that's so in tune with spirit it literally can't decay. Information becomes pure revelation, where you just know things instantly, no thinking required. And that first pulse we started with, it finally returns home to the omega point. But this time, it's a finished song.
So this is a beautiful theory, right? A really elegant map. But you might be asking, what does this have to do with the real universe, with physics? Well, this is where it gets really mind-blowing, because this model offers an explanation for the biggest puzzles out there.
You've definitely heard of dark energy and dark matter, right? That mysterious 95% of the universe that we can't see? Well, this model says they aren't things at all. Dark energy is just the friction, the waste heat from the universe's outward push, the processing power it needs to create all that complexity. And dark matter? That's the gravitational pull of the return journey, the collective weight of all consciousness pulling the universe back together.
So why are they dark? Why can't we see them? Well, it's simple. When you watch a movie, you don't see the projector or the electricity running through the walls, do you? No, you just see the movie. They're the hardware and the power source. We are the image on the screen. We're only meant to see the final result.
All right, but this brings up a big challenge for the model. What about the scariest thing in the universe? What about black holes? They seem like the ultimate cosmic dead end, a place where the song just stops.
But they're not. According to this map, they're the complete opposite of a dead end. They aren't holes at all. They're stairwells. Think about that for a second. Multiversal stairwells connecting different floors of reality.
So a black hole isn't some 3D monster that eats planets. What we're seeing is just a shadow. It's a shadow cast into our dimension by a structure in a higher one, and it acts like a cosmic drain, pulling old information, matter, light, all of it, out of our timeline and recycling it back into the bigger system of the multiverse.
And that brings our whole journey full circle, doesn't it? We went from the Alphid to the Omega, from the beginning to the end, only to find out that in this self-referencing, donut-shaped reality, they were never separate. They have always been the same place.
So when you boil it all down, if this map holds any truth, if we really are all just notes in a divine melody, it leaves us with one pretty important question. The universe is listening, so what song are you going to play?